Welcome to the Pump Rules Podcast, the show where cast and connoisseurs come to talk all things Vanderpump Rules.
I love crazy people. I love them.
Well, of course, it makes sense. You love reality TV. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the first reality show was that hooked you?
Real World. I remember watching the New York season, and I was fascinated, and I continue to be fascinated. So I've always loved, but it started off with Real World.
Is it L.A. or San Francisco with Dominic and...
That was Los Angeles.
Okay. I don't know why I get confused because I think the third year was San Francisco, right?
It was. And I've been trying to track down Dominic because I've been told he's still in the business and hilarious.
I imagine.
I did interview Eric Nies.
Oh, really?
So I have a podcast called Reality Life with Kate Casey.
Yeah, it's a great show. And I have to say, I can't give you enough compliments for digging up Cedric Martinez.
I know. He was really sweet. I feel bad for him. I feel like he's been really pushed under the stove.
But whenever I listen to someone tell their side of the story like that, I always think, are you sure, Cedric? Because when he was like, well, if you think about the first season, most of the storyline was us. And I was like, was it?
Oh, right. Because that's what he believed.
Exactly.
That's what he believed. And so you're listening. I felt like he's so terrified still of Lisa. Mm-hmm. He's being so measured about everything he says. There is some truth to this.
Sure.
There's a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what that part is, but there's got to be a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But he's still terrified of her. He would throw her the bus, and then he would follow it up with, but I would love to meet with her.
I would love to. I still love her.
And I would love to be with her. He said it could be in another country, and I kept thinking, maybe he's not allowed back in the United States.
The other thing that really threw me with him was that he said that he walked from, was it Silver Lake or West Hollywood to Westwood?
Yes, he did say that.
And I thought that can't be possible.
I just pictured him with a stick and a bandana.
Yes, a hobo bindle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know that he dated Lance Bass.
I didn't either.
That was interesting nugget. He said that she kept pushing him to date Lance and said, this is the kind of guy you should be with because he has a lot of money and he's famous. And he felt like, there are other people I like more, like the guy who serves mojitos over at the service bar.
Right.
But she had said to him, he's beneath you. He's beneath you. That there's this like classist system within the structure of the restaurant industry. And he also said he was heartbroken because this was before the show just had begun to air. Maybe it was the first or two episodes.
Yeah.
He was heartbroken because he'd found out Lisa was giving Melanie Bromley at Us Weekly info about his relationship with Lance. Just so it could say Cedric Martinez, who works at Sir Restaurant.
That's interesting.
Dating Lance. So I thought to myself, listen, if I had a backup assistant to look over the timeline, maybe I could verify this, but it's getting late and I really want to watch Vanderpump Rules. The other thing that was funny about that interview was it was an audio interview. You know, I have to Skype him. He's on another continent.
Were you able to look at each other?
We could.
Okay.
So this is where it's funny is that
he had a little bird in the background.
He had a bird, by the way, who that would not shut the fuck up.
No.
But he also had all these plants. And he was like positioning the plants, and I said, "You do know this is an audio interview? It's a podcast." And he said, "I have been stressing about it. I put all these plants in the background." I think he went to like the British Lowe's and bought plants. And he said he'd put makeup on too.
Oh my God.
So kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like in that moment I thought, this guy is so broken.
Yeah, definitely.
He's really broken.
He really
so
is.
my heart, as a mother, my heart went out to him like, oh boy.
You hear that at certain points, you're like, wow. There's a very compassionate sadness in your responses. When Lisa was saying you should be with Lance Bass, he has money, I feel like she was trying to offload him on like, look, you need someone to take care of you.
Oh, perhaps. That's a good point.
I just always think that with
interesting,
him. I feel like he was kind of like...
Mooch?
Yes, a mooch and sort of a lost soul, as you detected. But also, I feel like Lisa has this penchant for... There's a term for it. But anyway, she goes and tries to help the wounded bird and sometimes gets too wrapped up and too involved. I feel like there's a history of that, and I think that's why Ken gets so fiery when someone is like too close and sort of meddling with her.
That makes sense. Sure.
Yeah.
That actually does.
You were talking about interviewing Tom Schwartz, and you mentioned,
I loved him.
Isn't he great? And you can tell how much he loves Katie. Yeah.
This is what I think. I get why she loves him.
Yeah.
Because he is an angel-winged dove. He is extremely handsome, which I told him. He's probably one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Mm-hmm. However, he's a little bit of a ding-a-ling. He can't really pull things together, like space, like head in the clouds. Nicest person alive.
Incredibly nice.
I told him what I think he needs to do for a living is to become a daddy vlogger blogger. She should have a baby. He should make videos, collapsing strollers, making baby food.
Right.
Mom porn, basically. So mothers of the world could just watch him pureeing baby food and how to put together baby toys.
It would be a soft, soothing little 5-minute interruption in the day when you're...
He will be a wonderful father.
Yeah.
He's very loving. He's very into his wife.
Yes.
That is what he should do. I told Katie that too. I think she thought I was a little bit crazy. But I said, I think you should get impregnated immediatamente. And he should be a daddy vlogger.
They could even start doing those videos ahead of time. Maybe test the waters a little.
I'm going to say this to him. Get your toe wet. Why don't you reach out to like an ovulation kit company and just offer to do some sort of Instagram video with an ovulation kit? Right?
Yeah, well, that's like getting the whole calf wet, though, isn't it? Like it's like a full leg dip, isn't it?
Well,
I was talking about just put a stroller together and then...
It's just knowing that should you want to make things happen, that is the right time.
Yeah, I got you. Right, okay.
So it's up to
okay,
you.
never mind.
It's up to you.
I see.
Do you want to make it happen or not? You don't have to.
I see. Okay, so it's more of a tracking thing you were talking about.
It's a tracking system.
Okay, I understand. You know, forgive me, I was confused. I think I was mixing up.
You don't have kids, so you don't give a shit about this
I don't know these terms. I don't know.
I care because I'm always trying to roofie my husband to get more kids. You don't care about this stuff.
No, I don't at all. Yeah,
No.
yeah. It's like foreign language to me. I don't understand.
It's like Mandarin.
Exactly.
Right.
In the old days, we would have said like Greek, but that's, in these trying political times. I think I also got mixed up because Sheena was talking about freezing eggs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What is that?
Sorry, is it wrong of me to just...
Okay. Well,
I feel very bad for her. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I love Jack's response, too.
By the way, Jack's voice of reason, right? Over and over again.
I felt like this last episode... He was a star, and I do think that we don't appreciate the way he sets up scenes. He has a production quality to himself.
Yeah.
The way that he reels Lisa in at the bar and says, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Sheena's going to,
he didn't know how to say
freeze some eggs.
Yeah.
Like, he has no idea. And I love how Lisa always pretends she doesn't care. Oh, I don't know. I'm so busy. But again, what did you just say?
Could you repeat it again? I mean, listen, I don't want to make it my business until she makes it my business. But then again,
what is it? Right. Last night, I just thought, you know what? I salute you. I salute you for your work.
Yeah, he's a real stealth operator.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that he had the balls to say, you know what, Shay, kind of a piece of shit. I just thought, good for you to point that out.
She could do better.
Yeah. Anyone could do better than Shay at this moment because Shay is a mute.
He gets sun poisoning like that. Yeah.
I don't know what music he's making.
Oh, you don't? Oh, would you like to hear some of Dat Dope Group's latest?
I'm okay.
No.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
Probably the smartest choice, yeah.
I will tell you this, though. Mm-hmm. He produced the Gold song that Sheena did.
That's right, Good as Gold.
I'd like to go on record and say I think it's a little jazzy number.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so bad.
No, that's my...
I'm not a music person. I need to preface that. But I kind of like it.
That's still my favorite one of her songs that she's done.
It's good. Oh, she did more than one. I wasn't aware.
Oh, yes.
Is there an album?
There's three, I think.
There's three. It's a trilogy.
Good as Gold. I kind of like it.
Good as Gold is my...
song. It's cute.
It is. It's really good. It's catchy.
It is catchy.
She had one called What I Like, which is, I think, the song that she did the season 1. She did a show at the Roxy.
Okay.
And Ariana was a backup dancer.
Oh.
But the song is not memorable in any way. Like, it's a very memorable scene. I can't remember what the chorus sounds like. Good as Gold, very catchy. And then there was the James Kennedy written and produced Shake That.
Oh.
Yes. Do you remember?
Lots of trumpets.
They showed them making it, I think, was it last season or the season before? It's all a giant blur.
Do you guys have like real lives where you go out at night and like you sleep in? Do you sleep in?
Yeah, yeah. My schedule rotates.
But there are days where you actually like get to sleep in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I don't know what that's like anymore.
When was the last time you slept in?
8 years ago? Yeah.
Was it fun or were you sick?
I don't remember. It's like so hard to remember. It was before I had my first baby. I just don't remember. I don't remember anymore. I have 4 children. They're really all little.
Yeah.
So after that, your body just gets used to it. Like my husband goes on business trips and he'll say, I still wake up at 5:30.
Right. Yeah. Your internal clock just sets to that. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 years ago. And so I was reading that you started your stand-up career shortly after the birth of your first child, right?
No, I started writing after the birth of my first child. So I started doing television recaps, and then I started doing a lot of like funny parenting humor.
Sure.
And
see, I thought you did that already before that. I didn't realize that's when it started.
First it was writing, and then I think it was like after the birth of my 4th baby, Heather McDonald.
Yes, yeah.
Started reading my recaps.
Yeah.
And she invited me to be on her podcast, and we became really good friends.
Yeah.
And we talked about me doing a podcast, and we just sort of waited for the right opportunity, but I call her my Merv Griffin. She sort of.
I'm really happy with that reference. I'm usually driving references that I'm like, do I have to cut that out because no one got it in the room?
Yes,
my God,
totally. Yeah. She's. Do you guys know her?
Not personally, but like her show and everything, of course.
She's such a great person. I think that it's, as you guys know, it's hard to meet quality people.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's just such a great, super supportive of other women, and like just a great supporter of other comedians. So anyway,
that's a dual rarity,
awesome.
Right?
Absolutely. She's great.
Yeah.
So, and then I started doing stand-up too. So this has sort of been a later in life gig, and it's been kind of fun to see what opportunities have but I feel like my material has gotten better the more kids I've had. But I've always loved reality TV. And like I said, I started writing. I had a previous career in PR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So even though I did corporate PR, I found celebrity PR fascinating.
Sure.
So I started writing, like explaining to people, like, why would someone have a fake romance? What's the reason before? And I would explain like the PR reasons they would have it and the business reasons behind it. And then it started into recapping Housewives. I think it was like Orange County.
Okay.
So I just kind of started that, and then it would like so I've always loved reality TV. And plus, when I was a kid in Philadelphia, my mom was like never put us in summer camps. So I just watched an insane amount of television.
Sure.
Like a lot of General Hospital when I was too young to watch it. Like I understood the Luke and Laura rape story, like a little bit too young. I
didn't know there was a rape story within the Luke and Laura romance.
He had raped her, and then years later they got married, and it was totally fine.
Because I remember the wedding. So when you said the rape story, I was like, hold on.
Oh, yeah. It was like smoothed over that one.
Because Anthony Geary is a creepy guy when he wants to be. There's a film called Crack House. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
I'm not, but I will look it up now.
Yeah, it's great. He's in it, and he plays a creepy teacher who has a sideline as a crack dealer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's also in the Fat Boys film Disorderlies, which is a favorite of ours.
Maybe he did that in the time he left General Hospital, because he went away for a little bit and then he came back.
Okay, he had straight spiky hair. In those,
and I see your point about the crackhead, or I could see how he could play that, because the curly hair, it's a little bit of it's disturbing.
It's kind of seedy and sinister for some reason, even with like a tennis outfit. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
You knew what characters he could play.
Yeah, definitely. Bless you.
Thank you.
Sure. So you were watching a lot of TV as an
insane amount of television. I've just always loved TV.
Did you have what do you remember being your favorite shows, like your first favorite shows?
Well, Saturday Night Live.
Yes. Yeah, same here.
Was always my favorite, and I watched it way too young, and I would make my sister reenact skits. I just have like an insane knowledge of comedy stuff. I have like a photographic memory, so I just can recall stupid stuff. Always loved Bill Murray. Meatballs is still my favorite movie.
Yeah.
So just I'm just always loved TV and comedy, and so the funny thing is I went to school to work in government, and I got a degree in political science, worked at the White House.
Wow. Lots of hilarious stuff going on. Yeah.
So for like, I had my own PR firm for a long time.
That's
so
no
I did
easy
like
feat
corporate
either.
PR. Yeah, dealing with lawyers. But it was great. I would pitch stories about securities, litigation, intellectual property, mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
Business insurance, etc. But I always loved comedy on the side. So once I had my kids, I just sort of thought, I should do something with this. So, like I said, it's been kind of a later in my career thing, and it's been so fun.
That's really good, though, because you've done sort of all the, not mundane, but like not your passion stuff, right? I mean, you did love it, what you did, I think, right? Because it's hard to ascend that not that quickly, but that seriously in that field without.
Well, I kind of feel lucky because I knew that there were two things that I always wanted to do. I was very interested in politics and the entertainment industry. And I do feel sort of lucky that I've dipped my toe into both. I'm glad that I did that, the political business stuff in the beginning part of my career, because it really taught me about how to adjust to people, how my work ethic. So I think that, I mean, what people don't know about what we do is there's such a hustle to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The work that goes into it, and that's what sort of makes you rise above it, is if you really hustle. So I do think that if, that would be my message maybe to somebody who was a lot younger than me, is that if you work really hard, things will come your way. They may not be immediate.
But it will. Yeah.
Just work harder than the person next to you, and it'll all work out. So I dipped my toe in that. Now I'm dipping my toe in this, and it's been fun. And I don't understand why people think just because you have kids that you need to give up on stuff.
Or when you reach a certain age that you can't. Yeah, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be, I'm turning 40 in like 2 weeks.
Oh, congratulations. I just rang in 41 2 months ago.
Yeah. And, so who knows what you can do? Who cares what your age is?
The background in PR and politics, I mean, what could be better preparation for humor?
Hilarious.
Right? And the networking and just the politics and the PR.
I think almost everything is funny. You can find a funny aspect to everything that you do, but like a common thing would be law firms have these lists that they want to make, like diversity lists, and they will do anything in their power to make it look like they're diverse enough to get these lists. They live and die by these lists. Best of, whatever, super lawyers, whatever. And so the law firms would come to me and say, we really want to make it on this list, and I'd have to explain to them, listen, you guys are straight up delusional. You're not diverse. You have one person who may have been born in India, but I'm not sure. And the guy that is the prosthetic leg does not qualify. So it's like you always have to have these conversations with people that are so type A and just think that they can get anything done.
And
so
it must
that
be
was
done
always
like that.
funny to me.
Sure.
And I do think that having a sense of humor makes people listen to you in a way.
It's true.
Because I was really young.
Yeah.
And I'm a woman. And I think that I would walk into a room and people would think, who's this young girl? But then if you've got a little bit of an edge and like a sense of humor, it really helps.
Sure.
But I'm also from the East Coast, and I think we're really direct. So that kind of helped too.
This segment brought to you by Stassi Stumble, the new beverage partnership from Bartles & James and Stassi Schroeder. Tired of the night train? Sick of the blemishes you always get after a hard night on Mad Dog 2020? Sip those homeless blues away with Stassi's special blend of bargain basement white wine and her proprietary melange of antidepressants and sleeping aids. With the stick-to-your-ribs aroma of knockoff Gucci bags and rancid fruit notes, Stassi Stumble guarantees a smooth slide to the bottom. Stassi Stumble, available in 1-gallon efficiency jugs exclusively at Superior Grocers, North Hollywood. Act now and receive a complimentary set of Schroeder brand booze tube tampon flasks. Perfect for the times you can't even hide enough bottles in the bathroom to get through the day.
Ariana, please give me some information. Why does she go on the show when she loathes everyone and doesn't like to be on camera? She was angry at Lala for ditching the birthday party, but when Lala walked up to her, there was anger there too, that I just thought, there's more to this story too.
See, I think Ariana said that she's cool with Lala even though all that stuff's happened, and is cool with James because she roots for James, but I think she needs off the show.
She's boring. She serves no purpose. I enjoy her jumpsuits. She's probably a lovely person. I appreciate her enjoyment of comedy, but there's not enough to give to the show. And she loathes it. She's not happy. It's like if she were a contestant on The Bachelor, and whenever she had a date with The Bachelor, explain like, why am I on this dumb show? I hate everyone on here. I'm really not that into you. And by the way, I don't even think this romance might even work in the end. It's that equivalent. Get off the fucking show. We don't need you anymore. It doesn't make sense.
Did you like the RV shenanigans?
Here's my worry. They're like 30 years old, and I just feel like there's a lot of alcohol consumption. There's almost too much where it's like, I'm watching it, I'm enjoying it, but I'm also worried about them.
And there's so much Coors Light.
Is someone going to go to like the ER for like alcohol poisoning? I mean, the way that they were drinking out of the tequila bottle straight.
Right. Yeah.
It just took me back to college where I did a shot of Goldschlager, and I do believe it came out my eyeballs. Like, I just worry about them. Can
You're worried
there
about
be
liver
many
counts?
more seasons of this? Can they be 45? I don't know. Just drinking out of bottles. At that point, does it get depressing?
Maybe.
When they were in the bridal alteration shop.
Alteration Express, right around the corner.
Wait, before we get into that, this is a meta experience. Because I walked up to your building. I go to the keypad.
Yeah.
Does everyone know that you live in the same building?
Some people, yes. They know. The people who live in the building?
No. I am in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
In a building with you. Cohabitated by two of the couples on the show.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
This is hilarious. And why you don't laugh about this every day.
Oh, it's funny. It's very funny.
That would be like you coming to my house in Newport and me telling you, oh, Tamara Judge is my neighbor. You'd be like, what?
No, wait, she lives downstairs. Yeah.
This is hilarious and awesome at the same time. So when Sheena was explaining to Katie, because when she gives marriage advice, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. And she said that she and Shay had gone to one counseling session, and that was enough for them to understand that they were already great communicators.
Yeah.
And Stassi, and this is why I love her, just looked at Rachel like, what?
Yeah. She looked like she just smelled something horrible. Like that.
And that I appreciate about Stassi.
Yeah, same here.
Because she is very direct that way.
Yeah.
But that was a great moment. And it just, so here's my question for you guys.
Sure.
Is Sheena incredibly unself-aware, or is she just doesn't give a shit?
I think it's a combo of being unself-aware. I think that it's kind of, how do I describe it? It's not that it's like she plays games, and I think that she comes off as naive, but like not really, I feel like I only have mean things to say about her.
No, it's vexing. This is the thing. She's troubling. We try not to be mean about her, but it's inevitable.
So when she's at the bar with Jax and she explains to him that she's seeking fertility options. Yeah. Is that because she wants the attention?
Yeah.
I think so.
Or because she is delusional, or because she's trying to, Blythe, you might agree with me on this one, trying to offset the fact that she knows this marriage looks really bad by throwing a bone out that says that she's seeking fertility options. Like, we don't have problems because we're talking about having a baby.
I think.
Yeah,
go.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's a combo package with a strong 70% of it being the third option.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And most of the time, the first two options are at play in most of the things that when you watch her, you go, what the hell's, what's she on about?
It would be interesting to talk to her now that this is aired, just to find out if she's had a moment of clarity. That she looks back and thinks, it was, our marriage was in the shitter. I should never have said that. And this was just my Hail Mary. I mean, it would be interesting to find out.
She has a lot of what looks to be publicist-fed stories to those outlets, or a lot of stuff in like Us Weekly where it's like, this is not organically sourced. Like there's someone feeding this.
And I think she had a lot of hang-ups this season too, because it's part of kind of wanting to be the center of attention, but not really knowing how to stand out, and getting jealous about Katie's wedding, even though Katie's not some bridezilla, and it's in Sheena's head. So then she goes over the top and makes her out to be like this awful, like drunken, terrible person who's a narcissist and mean to her bridesmaids, which didn't happen on the show. And every time she would say something, there's no callback to a flashback, except for her saying, I wasn't a bridezilla, and they call back to her like being a huge diva, like on her wedding.
She was a nightmare for her wedding.
She was.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like, it's a personality disorder.
Why did they have to spend that much money on a wedding?
See, I don't know what weddings cost, so like I'm confused.
Well, at the very least, the destination place, it was on a Wednesday, kind of off season, so there's savings.
I went to Hawaii and I had 20 people there. I just don't understand the big weddings. It's stupid, especially at our age. I also am like, I know that this is their first time and their last time they'll get married, but why so many bridesmaids? I feel like bridesmaids are more appropriate for somebody who just got out of college.
Oh, really? So what's the average number of bridesmaids?
I think that like once you get past 4, you're kind of like an asshole.
Really?
It's just weird to me.
Uh-huh.
And you're all in the same like butter yellow dress or whatever it is with the dumb garlands in your hair and carrying a bouquet and little purses. I just feel like it's a little bit past your prime to have all these bridesmaids. That said, I'm sure it was a beautiful wedding.
Yes, it was.
And you should do a wedding the way you want.
Yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents. The wedding cost is absurd. Wouldn't you rather have that money to put toward a deposit on a home versus a party and all the alcohol and the goat cheese balls?
But I think they're okay in that regard.
They're okay with spending money.
Yeah, like it's not like they're not putting themselves in a hole.
Which is always funny with the show because they have to be like, no, they only make their earnings as servers.
I really don't think they're killing it though. So I had Tom Schwartz on my show and I asked him, did you get like free stuff for your wedding?
Yeah.
As one should if you're on a TV show. And he said, no, we did not get anything free. Which I feel like they could have been smarter about that. Like if you've got that platform, may as well get free stuff.
They did get free Coors Light. And actually, I found out they also got Coors Light for the bachelorette party. And then I found out that that's why they had Four Loko there, because unbeknownst to me, Coors Light, whoever owns Coors Light, owns Four Loko.
Oh.
Because I was really confused. I was like, are they big Four Loko people? I don't remember seeing that around.
Everyone always shades my like awful strawberry drinks, but I'm like, wait, you're all drinking Four Loko. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one would try the strawberry when we were upstairs. But then...
Right.
Yeah.
And then they have a deal with Dylan's Candy Bar, obviously.
Clearly, yeah. There's 2 over there.
So weird. And again, at our age, who's eating candy?
Well, at least they mixed them properly and nobody took Jax's idea to put the
sugar-free candy? No.
The
candy
Halloween
corn.
Candy. Yeah, he's like, it's classic Halloween candy. I'm like, this isn't Halloween.
I love Sandoval's line, though. Dude, sleep with my girlfriend, but don't eat candy corn.
So funny.
And that was Schwartz's little creative contribution to the
Well, I'm glad there was one. Because
honest to God, the guy is the sweetest, nicest person
lovely.
in the world. But I don't understand it.
This segment brought to you by Alteration Express. Alteration Express, the only place to go when you need same-day service for discreet pockets in your bridesmaid's dress that are just right for travel-size wine and liquor miniatures. Alteration Express, La Cienega Boulevard, West Hollywood.
What did you think about Lisa Vanderpump making comments about how it was basically a shithole and then walking into the room, the suite, with the ironing board in the back?
Well, so we were staying on the other side of that wall, so we enjoyed the lodging. So
wait a minute.
Yeah, we went to the wedding.
You were there?
Yes, we were on the other side of the wall from Glenn.
Oh my God.
I almost said Len and Kisa.
I don't know if I can deal with this.
There's a really funny. Actually, when they cut the cake, I had just walked out of, getting a drink or something. So I come around, I don't know what's going on. And you could see that. I turn around and I remember seeing the camera being like, oh. And then I just walked past. But I was watching the cake cutting part.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there I am looking like I don't know what's going on.
Well, so I'm friends with Rachel. And Rachel's
yeah.
It was the loveliest wedding.
Yes,
it was beautiful. She said, I'm so baffled by these sneak peeks where it looks like people are fighting. I have no recollection of that. Maybe I was wasted.
It was the nicest wedding we've ever been to.
That's what
this
she
amazing
said.
group of friends.
Beautiful.
Everyone was amazing. Yeah.
Wait, let's go back to Lisa and the sharing wall. So when you walked in, you were like, "This is a pretty place," but I was like, "Kind of an asshole move for her to be on TV and she's officiating the wedding, saying I've stayed in a lot better places." I'm like, kind of like an asshole thing.
I thought so too.
Do you think she regrets that at all?
I kind of hope she does because it's kind of a knock on the overall thing.
not everybody was born with a silver spoon. Not everybody is Pandora's life, okay? Right. Some of us have to, like, you know, rub some marbles together to pay for a wedding. So throw me a goddamn bone. Yeah. Right. I was like that. I was kind of pissed about that.
Like that flashback that the producers used when she's talking about her tea towels and it cuts to Pandora's like beautiful invitations. I'm like, okay, I know this is funny, but I don't think Lisa really, they might shape it that way. I don't really think that
but she's an executive producer of the show.
No, it's true.
I think she does do that stuff kind of deliberately.
Yeah.
And I didn't dig it when she was comparing the wedding invitations, because also I liked the wedding invitation. I thought it was cute and it was what they wanted, and she had this whole thought about it. But comparing it to Pandora's, like,
awful.
it doesn't even make
awful.
You should.
Don't
it's
do
just
that.
tacky. Like,
Gross.
it doesn't matter if the other one was if one sucked and the other one was the greatest one ever. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
And also, frankly, if you want to talk about what's tacky and what's not, you could look at Pandora's and go, "Well, that's a little much," don't you think?
Well, I would agree with you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. I do agree with you that this show is different than other shows because you really do get a sense they're like legit friends. Whereas Housewives, I'm always annoyed, like, there's no way that chick would ever hang out with that chick.
Yeah. Who's the most grating housewife to you in the last, specifically Beverly Hills? Because we're a little behind on the other franchises. Yeah,
Dorit makes my skin crawl. I would love to interview her because I need to get to the bottom of it. Yeah. I feel like I need to learn more about the story of her life.
She's the one with PK,
I don't enjoy about Erica, which I need to get to the bottom of. Is she talks about her her career and how hard she's worked, but I feel like it's always like, well, I was always a performer as a kid, and it's her in like a 3-year-old picture with tap dancing shoes on, and then all of a sudden she had a #1 hit on the dance charts at a rave. It's like, what was the arc? What happened before then? I need like a full explanation because it looks like you just paid for a career. I need some explanation. Was she on Star Search and I didn't see that episode?
Oh, God, that would be amazing.
Was she a spokesmodel?
Like during the cocktail waitress years? Yeah. Was there a sideline sort of cabaret?
I would like to know that. Was she burlesque dancing and singing? Like, what happened? Where did she perform? Were there shows in Vancouver? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I need to get to the bottom of that. Maybe she performed at Tom's legal functions. I don't know.
I have a feeling that she has more composure than to be like, honey, if they're looking for an act, you know, I feel like she wouldn't do that. She would only go the full Monty, like, okay, we have enough money and my son's grown up, so I'm going to hire a glam squad and have a #1 hit in Istanbul or wherever she's had #1 hits. I feel like she doesn't do half measures now that she doesn't have to. Yeah.
I do know that he is very proud of her and showed her videos to employees.
I love that.
Which is sometimes I'm like, wouldn't that be awkward? Like, that's your wife? Oh, okay.
But again, you
have to act like you are totally into it.
Oh, totally enamored.
If you weren't.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned this, there are very strange social and socio-political aspects to law firms.
Absolutely.
So that's another one that, like you just mentioned, they have to be like, that's fantastic, Tom. I'm so happy that her art is enriching the world.
Well, I have to tell you, as somebody who worked in the legal industry, he is like top of the top.
Have you ever enjoyed the show Wicked Single? Did you ever watch that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because sadly, I have half of it on DVD. I recorded, so when the day of the Boston Marathon bombing, they suddenly decided they couldn't show the show anymore, and so VH1 they dumped it by burning it out with 2 episodes a night on like Sunday at midnight.
Huh.
And I had them all on the DVR, and then I didn't burn them to DVD. So it's like the Great Missing Show. You can't find it. And here's another weird thing. We lived around the corner from, the really dumb blonde girl, like the powerfully stupid girl.
Yeah.
We're watching it, and I go, oh, my God. That's in Waltham. We used to live in Waltham, and it was so weird.
Good. And we drive like the shittiest bar ever down the street, and they're like going there to pick up guys. I'm like, this is so depressing, and it's down the street from us. I can't deal with this.
It's
that's like depressing, but awesome.
No, it was awesome because I was like, I can't believe they went to that place. It was like the horror show bar that you drive past on the way home and go like, thank God I'm like, my life isn't like me going to that place.
Right.
Which I feel bad saying that because I always hate when people say that about Sir and stuff, but like Sir is cool. This was like a shitty bar.
This is like Boston townies,
you mean the
like
people,
dark stuff.
People say that about Sir, that they're working there?
There's some people that like love to shit on the Vanderpump Rules people because they want to pretend that they're somehow above them, like either in show business or in some other world.
Okay. So they're in a reality show. Yeah. They're like killing it.
Yeah, exactly.
They have like thousands of followers.
They can do stuff on Instagram and get paid.
Beg people to listen to my podcast. They just have to post a picture outside and people know who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing something right.
Yeah. And that's what everyone's mad about.
That is exactly what people are mad about. Mm-hmm. And I always like to say, and I don't know if I've said it on the show, I may have said it to Stassi, but my feeling about the show is the show, besides it being about a group of friends, is the American dream. Mm-hmm. These kids, I mean, however old, but these kids came out to this great land of Los Angeles to make it. Now, they may have not made it in the way that they originally intended, like a model or an actress or a singer or whatever, but they hit the goal that everyone wants, especially when they move here. So I think that is what a lot of the jealousy is.
Like we said, it's a different show because they're actually friends, but I think the people are pretty honest about their lives.
Yes.
Like Housewives makes me batshit crazy when someone is pretending they have incredible wealth and they have 4 sticks in their bank account.
Dana.
That's dishonest.
Dana, right?
Yeah, I hate that's what I
love
and I
her
feel
story.
like they deserve for me to make fun of them.
Oh, absolutely. And they deserve every bad thing that happens to them, too.
If they don't,
and
if they
the
hide
Sir
themselves.
people, the Vanderpump Rules people, from the people that I've met, I have to say they're all pretty funny.
Yeah.
And they're in on the joke.
Mm-hmm.
Some people take it way too far.
Sure.
And I remember the day I interviewed Tom, he was saying that one of them, Rachel came in. And it was like a day that it was like the day after something aired and people were being so awful to Katie.
Oh, they were being vicious.
And she had texted Rachel and said something like, this is like an awful day. Awful day.
Yeah.
So, in the end, it's just a TV show.
Right.
Like, I'll do recaps and I'll totally make fun of them. But I feel like they're in on the joke. And also, I mean, they do put themselves on TV, but I have to say, they do put so much out. It's kind of, sometimes I'm like, holy shit, you really want to say that?
I know. Like, the depth to which they exposed their relationship on television, which also I was really kind of shocked at how much hate went towards Katie this year. I found it a real drag.
I think Tom was saying this too, is that when people watch shows, and for this show in particular, I think that when they're watching, they get wound up about something. It's because it reminds them of something in their own life.
Exactly.
A person they know, an experience they had.
Yes.
So that's the reaction. But then I bet you if people met them in person, they would not necessarily react the same way.
I agree 100%.
But it's something about like when you watch Jax and when he's being an asshole to Brittany, there's a guy that reminded you of it reminds you of your own life experiences.
That's right. Yeah. And I think also a lot of people fail to or prefer not to parse out why they're having a reaction to something. And they just go on blind emotion and then they attack.
The only thing that I do have to say is that if viewers can smell when someone is not being sincere.
Yes.
Like, I was really annoyed watching the sequence between James Kennedy and his annoying girlfriend who looks like Perry Gilpin. Because they're full of shit. The girlfriend's full of shit. The mother and the sister were full of shit. They can't stand James. It's very clear to me. Oh, we love how you treat our daughter like a princess. First of all, no one should be treated like a princess.
No.
This isn't like Disney. Like, that's
it's
weird.
It's a pageant girl.
Yeah.
And she's using this opportunity to parlay it into something else.
Why do you think she was so shocked when he was like, I don't work at Sir no more? And they were like, huh? And then they reeled it back. But that's not really what we care about, James. It's that you treat her like a princess. They're like, did he really get fired? And also,
but also you could tell she hates him because she said, oh, but you can do this, right? Because you work at a restaurant. I mean, come on. She clearly can't stand him.
Can't stand him.
The sister with all the makeup on.
Oh, my God. Don't wear that lipstick if you have that intensive a face.
So their scenes I can't take. So that's the most insincere. So viewers have a right to react to that.
This segment brought to you by Burnt Bridges, the hot new batch of bomb-ass bangers from international EDM sensation James Kennedy. James Kennedy. James Kennedy. Burnt Bridges will bust your lip with love and fury, gangsta style, yo. Featuring such legendary thumpers as Fucking Over My Friends, My Sex Is Crazy, My Hair Is Crazy, and Blokes Don't Kiss Guys. Bomb Ass Bangers is the perfect collection for ladies on the go and lads who just want to get on the show. Burnt Bridges, available exclusively at Studs Theater, Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood.
I don't see any of them in 10 years, unlike some tabloid, I lost it all. I didn't know, I don't, for some reason, I don't see that with any of them. Well, I mean, Sheena, because she's already had her bank account cleaned out, and I feel like she's prone to...
How much money was taken? Did she ever reveal that? Much money.
I mean, if you have all of your money in that one joint account...
They're married. It's the same money.
Well, that's true. But I mean, he might have earned some of it.
I love it when a husband says on one of these reality shows, well, like... It's my money. No, you're married. It's like, we're in California. It's a 50-50 state, you idiot.
Even if you're not married, right? Like, what's the...
Stupid.
Isn't there a common law thing?
Like 7 years, I think.
7 years. Yeah. That's right. 7 years. You're just...
How long have you two been shacking up?
About 6... No, I'm just...
But you just
14
moved to
years.
California,
that's
so it
true.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my rush mirror. So...
you better watch yourself.
Those are my laser discs. And...
party.
So yeah, we've been together about 14 years.
Don't leave him, please. You need a tech guy. And if you break up, I'll take him. He can live with me.
Oh, did you do the audition process for Real Housewives of Orange County?
I did.
Oh my God.
Tell us about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So I have a girlfriend who was on the season. There was a party, Shannon had a birthday party, and then there's a new housewife, Kelly, and a girl was a party guest and confronted Kelly on the fact she'd been on a vacation, but with another man, but she was separated at the time.
Okay.
So it was a non-issue. But anyway, my friend appeared in that episode. With these shows, it's usually like someone recommends you. I've been living in Orange County for many years now, so I get a call. And they just said, somebody recommended you, but they wouldn't tell me. And then finally I'm like, just fucking tell me what's up. So anyway, my girlfriend recommended me, and I just did a lot of like phone interviews, and then they looked at all my website and social media and all that. And then we had another call, and then we did like a Skype call, and it was a long time. I think it was like an hour and a half. And wow. I had my makeup done, which is hilarious to me.
Did you have plants arranged behind you?
Well, this is what happens is that the girl that recommended me said, okay, you really have to put makeup on and like do it up. I'm like from the Northeast. I just don't wear, like, I'm not an Orange County woman. I don't wear hair extensions. I don't have like fake tits hanging out. Like it's not my jam.
Sure.
So that was funny. So I had my makeup done, and then you have to position the camera like in a certain spot of your house, and then they're just kind of yelling at you like you've got to sit up higher or lower. That's not enough thing in the back. There's not enough light.
Yeah.
So it's like an hour and a half, and they ask you a million questions about your life, and you fill out an application. And
could they not send like a camera crew out? They're so specific about it.
I just think that they're like, well, unless someone's like amazing. I think they wait until the real last. So I did not get past that after that.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then I think the next level is, they have got their like maybe a couple left, and then they maybe like 2 left. And then they go and they film them in their houses.
Oh, okay. That's the next step. That's the final.
That is the last.
I see.
They come to your house.
You're in.
You're probably in. Yeah.
So,
but I kept saying to them, you guys know I do recaps of the show. So I don't know if it really made sense, but I thought, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
So why don't I ride this out, and then I can report back to headquarters.
Right.
I never told my husband.
You never told your husband?
I filled out the application and everything. And we went out to dinner like a week later. It's like, oh, by the way, they totally interviewed me for Housewives. And he was like, what? He owns a software company. So he's like, huh? Yeah. He would never be on that show.
Right,
never.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He just, unless you like let me just be by myself, like I just don't see him being on the show. He's like a nerdy, nice, sweet, like preppy guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have some like company that sells like fancy wheels or, like he's not selling my plastic satchels from like a warehouse.
Off-brand vodka.
No. So he's like pretty normal. I'm also, I think they want someone who's like super glamorous. And as you guys can see, I'm pretty like, you probably see me at the, the store and walk past me. I mean, I'm like, I'm not super glamorous with like diamonds and stuff. I'm like too normal. But, I wear J. Crew. Like I'm not.
But that could be a cool thing for the OC. That's why I heard that, I thought.
They kept saying, well, we think you're so funny. So I was like, I will kill it in those interviews.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I think I'm a little bit too direct.
Okay.
So I would in my.
But that'd be good for conflict.
Would be at the party, but like, yeah. Are you guys shitting me? Did you just hear what she just said?
But that's
fucked up is that?
That's a great mix it up.
Though. Yeah,
that's that.
Totally.
And also, be like the great Greek chorus of the show. Because that can be a good spot for someone on one of those shows. Like on Beverly Hills, it's mostly Lisa that when she's on doing the interviews, you're like, oh, good. This is good.
I agree with you, yes.
Yeah. This segment brought to you by Therapy. Therapy. Go once, be fixed forever. Therapy. Take it from someone who knows.
Gina Keogh. I was going to interview her, and then 10 minutes before the interview... No, I called her actually at the interview time. I'm like, are you ready? Can we do this? And she said, I had a pipe burst in my kitchen, so I can't do this right now. And I'm like, you're a fucking asshole.
Also, well, because the phone is probably one of those, wall units that she couldn't move out of the room. Yeah.
And then John Gosselin, he canceled like 10 minutes before the interview.
Really?
And said like something came up, and he's never responded to like rescheduling.
Blythe, what are your thoughts on John Gosselin from Celebrity Rehab?
What are my thoughts?
I hate to promote.
He's a douche.
I hate to promote something I'm going to do now because I've learned people flake out.
And no, I can hear you.
No, it's like, it's weird. You can't talk about what's coming up because you don't know if it's actually happening until,
Because people still like, what happened to John Gosselin? I'm like, get off my back. What can I do? I can't fly to Philadelphia and...
Yeah, like you can't force someone to...
And I buttered him up, too, because we had almost the same birthday, and I also grew up not far from him.
Isn't he like a chef now? Or
he's like... a DJ at Applebee's, and I'm not making that up.
That's true. That's what it was.
How could you make that up? That's not... The finest writers could be in a quorum, could not arrive at that.
Oh, my God. I remember seeing some video, or just photos of him and his DJing there.
Oh, it's
like a New Year's party or something.
But with like Asian writing in the back. Like he's really embraced that.
Did you like Celebrity Rehab?
I can't watch rehab things.
Really?
They depress me. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch like what's the other one?
Well, Blythe's favorite. What is your favorite? 600-Pound Life.
Yes. I can't watch Intervention. I can't watch 600 Life. I can't. Those things are too depressing. I tried to watch last week's episode. I watched Mom and June.
That new show just started.
Oh, wow.
It's her revenge body. She's
too
losing
depressing.
the weight.
But she did lose the weight, some of it.
Yeah.
But they put a fat suit on her and gels for consistency. It can,
Oh
issues.
my God.
It's really depressing.
I wonder if it's like the...
she's lit from heaven too. It's so absurd. I'm like, she is an angel? I don't know.
Yeah, she's an angel. She's a god.
It must be like the Biggest Loser method of like working out until you exhaust yourself and almost die. Sort of thing.
They just like took a knife and like chopped off a big part of her body off. But then they say she's a size 4, which like women hate this when you talk about the number of a dress. It makes us batshit crazy.
But you can also tell most of the time it's always 2 to 3 sizes smaller than what someone says.
It's so absurd. I hate it.
Which is stupid that you even have to be like, she's not that skinny.
Because that's why we get mad. I'm like, really? Yeah. She's a size 4? No. Really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think so.
I hate that.
Claire Danes is a size 4. You're not Claire Danes.
No way.
But I love in the trailer the kids are all like eating and they're like, Mama, you look so different. I don't recognize you anymore.
Please.
I can't with them.
And the kid is like eating Oreos. It's like, save
no,
her.
But that's what I feel bad for because I think that there was a spark of hope with Honey Boo Boo and like she was witty and smart, but I just feel like everything is like clouded over by like trans fats and like bad food.
Totally.
And sketty. She's never going to evolve into the person she could be.
And then in the episode, she had only one workout tape, and it was a cassette tape, and it was like Sweatin' to the Oldies or something.
What?
And it was like,
oh my God.
That's how detached she is. She is a cassette tape still.
Yeah.
What I found depressing is that they were detached, but the money they were making off that show, they could have made a better life for themselves. We're like, no, we're still going to eat sketty.
No chance.
No, they're still going to buy with coupons.
She's upset that the sugar bear, the ex-husband, cheated on her. He looks like the old man in Old School. Like I don't think he has any teeth. And by the way, can you blame him if he cheated on you?
Yeah, that reminds me of why I couldn't watch Honey Boo Boo.
We tried episid 1, and then she had like dirt rolls under her neck, and Craig was like, "I'm out.
We're done."
The neck crust. I remember. My hands went up. I went, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not. I cannot do this. No.
No.
And now a reading from Ask Stassi.
Hey Stassi, what's your secret to day drinking? I just turned 21 in June. Every time I attempt to day drink at parties or just with friends, I just get super tired and boring. Like I'll literally go take a nap. How do I stay awake and fun? Do I do Red Bull? I usually don't get sleepy at night. Is it just the sun? Help! Yours, Callie.
Dear Callie, first of all, happy birthday.
Just so you know, my advice on this topic is bad advice. But you asked, so here we go. You know no-dos? Like the caffeine pills that Jesse Spano freaked out on during Saved by the Bell? Anyway, you can get them at any drugstore, and they will totally give you energy to hang during the day. The alternative is having a billion shots of espresso, but that kind of rips my stomach apart, so if I were you and I knew I'd be day drinking, I would take like half a caffeine pill before. And yes, you only need a half. Successful day drinking also depends on what you're drinking. Here's a tip. Don't drink wine during the day because it makes you fall asleep no matter what. So, what should you drink then? Truthfully, I go through phases of favorite day drinks. These phases have included Bloody Marys, margaritas, beer, but if you want to stay responsible when drinking during the day, I'd say choose any tequila-based cocktail, because tequila won't make you sleepy. Shaking my head. It's terrible advice. I'm sorry. Have fun, Callie. XX Stassi.
I hope she gets married, Stassi.
Stassi, yeah.
I did listen to an interview and told her afterwards that it's not over for her because her parents were married a bunch of times. She's like, I
That's
come
right.
from that.
Yeah.
And I said, my parents have been married, or my dad only got married once, but my mom was married a couple times.
Yeah.
I'm happily married with 4 kids.
Right.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah. There's no correlation between what your parents did and what you can have.
If you're thinking about it, you're already breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
You're that conscious of it.
Right.
You're fine.
I think she suffered from this, maybe not suffers, but suffered from this notion that she had to be with a partner, that to be the person that she should be, she had to be with someone. Because I think before this stretch of being determinedly single, she was with someone.
Right.
Almost,
all
what
the
do they call it?
Habitual. You need a break.
Yeah.
Serial monogamous.
Serial monogamous, yeah. And I think that leads people to being with less than desirable partners.
She's pretty young, though. How old is she?
28.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you don't even know who you are until you're 30, so she shouldn't be married anyway.
I feel like she's the youngest, at least on the original cast.
She might be. How old? I can't remember how old Sheena is. Because, now this is going to sound mean again, the emotional immaturity throws me off totally.
I don't think that her emotional...
low emotional quotient.
She's not emotionally developed well.
Oh, earlier you were asking about whether or not she was just totally unself-aware.
Right.
And I think that she thinks she's really self-aware,
right.
but she's tragically off base. Like her radar is totally smashed. And she thinks that she's presenting one thing when in actuality her attempt to project that one thing is exposing a whole raft of things to people. And I think she's continually trying to make up for the previous embarrassment, which is just like, it's like falling down the stairs in slow motion or something.
Right.
I asked her if she'd come on the show, and she said, "Oh yeah, sure." And then she's like, "I'll connect you with my publicist." And
I don't like it.
I don't
like it.
I don't think it's going to happen.
There's a Bachelor contestant who was on the season that just wrote me and said, "I'd love to be on your show." I said, "Okay, great."
Done, right?
Let's do it. And then she wrote, "Please email assistant dot her first name at like herfullname.com." Now you want me to write your assistant? Like,
yeah, an ask letter.
No.
Sorry.
We're done.
Yeah.
Good night. Nope.
Right. Look, you can get Cedric. You're doing you got plenty of fish to.
I had Dorinda last week from New York. This week I have Jason Whaler from Laguna Beach.
You go deep cut, which is something I really like.
Yeah, I do. And then I had, and this episode is going to be Stephen McGee from Summer House.
Oh, cool. He's actually on the episode of Stassi's podcast where this whole controversy sprang from. Yeah.
I have to let you know that we had a very funny interview about the house. So it's not, I don't know why they were talking about Oscar movies. That's not my jam. We talk about like what happens on the show.
Yeah,
I was like confused by that whole thing. Like, why were they talking about Oscar movies?
Yeah, well, it's funny because they sort of, it's weird. I think the article that got posted in this whole Twitter argument.
It always is bullshit because they take parts of something.
Yeah,
it's
totally
so
out of context. Yeah.
So frustrating.
And I haven't heard the interview, so I shouldn't speak about it. But I think essentially, like, she loves musicals, and she was like, "Fuck, I wanted La La Land to win," and that's where the shit.
Well, then
also for someone who criticizes, they should start a podcast, do hours and hours of audio.
Yeah,
and then have something to say.
By the way, that's exactly right.
People take what you say.
Yeah. And the other thing is, with her show, she has a strict no editing policy. It's like they're live on the radio. So you're going to sometimes fuck up.
This segment brought to you by I Can't Feel My Teeth, a memoir, the latest bestseller from Professor Jax Taylor. In I Can't Feel My Teeth, Professor Taylor walks you along the sneezy boulevards of Miami and hustles you through the hot streets of Hollywood. With a hockey bag of stolen food, a heart full of dreams, and a chest full of supplements. I Can't Feel My Teeth will make you laugh, cry, and probably itch. I Can't Feel My Teeth. Available now from Harlequin Books.
I love that it was a shift in tone, that finally we were seeing the Bubs be pleasant with one another, and the sweet moments on the beach. Not to blame editing, but I think when you don't see any kind of warmth or nice stuff happening with a couple, it's a little weird though, like we're going to jump to the wedding episodes.
Well, I think it's a myth that like in the months before you plan that you're like skipping stones along the water. I mean, you get in fights. It's a huge financial decision to get married. You have to deal with in-laws. Mm-hmm. You have to deal with like maybe you're going to move after you get married. There are a lot of big decisions that are made, and it's very stressful. Yeah. And, you know, I would think if you're not arguing in some capacity that you're not really having some sort of realistic look at what a marriage is. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, actually. It's good that we're talking about that with you, because I had just based it on when my brother got married and being up close in front row watching a wedding. Like I had been saying, no one is in like a good mood for most of the months leading up.
No, it's a huge decision to make, and you're not just marrying each other; you're marrying the other person's family. You're combining finances. It's a lot to take, and it's stressful. And you're going to throw this big party, and you're spending all this money, and then there are douchey people that'll say like, "I don't want to sit at that table," and I don't like your flowers, and it's like. That's why I got married and there were 20 people in Hawaii. It's just much easier.
So it was like an elevated elope?
Yeah, we're like, if you want to come, great. And it alleviates so much stress.
Mm-hmm. Did you drive the cake there?
I did not. I don't understand why they did that, but whatever. In the grand scheme of things, also with weddings, people get so hung up on the dumb stuff like the cake and the centerpieces. And all the people really remember are, did they seem like they were in love? Did I have fun?
Yeah.
No one remembers like what the baby's breath looked like. Right. So it's easy to get really stressed out about that.
As long as the DJ and the music is good.
Or the woman's, you get so stressed about your dress. My dress, looking back, was atrocious. And I should have had people come to the dress shop and give me some insight, but I just didn't want to bother anybody. And
you should have gone to Alteration Express and gotten custom pockets for little miniature booze bottles.
Weddings are very stressful. So I think that whole notion of like, she's a bridezilla, it's like, it's a big deal.
Yeah. And it's a little.
Well, she planned it within 3 months or something, and which is on a TV show.
Yeah.
And single-handedly, although he did do the candy. So,
but also, it's they're getting married. Who really cares? Like, why are we really that wrapped up in someone else's communication style? Like, in the end, you don't go home with them. I'm watching a show and I'm commenting on it because to me it's entertainment. But for them, they're living within this story, and they're all so upset about how much this couple fight, which I get because they love them. But in the end, it's their choice. Yeah. So you kind of got to let go at some point. Like maybe that's what they get or they love.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Maybe they make some hot and heavy. Maybe they like to fight and then have lots of sex. Who knows? But it's like we all have our own problems. Why am I going to worry about somebody else's problems?
Yeah. Well, I think that covers the episode, and it's been really a treat having you on the show.
It's been so fun.
Yeah, I've really had a great time.
I feel like I have new friends.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. We'll have to do this again. And
next time you're coming to my show.
We would love to come to your show.
You watch a show.
Oh, great.
But I decide what show.
Oh, I love that.
But I want it to be something that neither of us have watched.
And what was the show that you saw on Netflix that was about this?
Chasing Cameron?
Yes, that sounds
that one
incredible. Oh my God, it sounds unbelievable. Oh my God. A Lou Pearlman-like guy.
Yes.
That alone, I was like, I've got to see this. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I have to do my research because I want us to watch something that we've never watched.
That'd be good. And we'd love to do a binge of something too. So if it's multiple episodes that we have to commit to, that'd be great.
Oh my gosh. This is too much for me. This is a date. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This will be good.
This has been really great, Kate.
So fun.
It's been great getting to know you and stuff on air. Yeah.
Oh, make sure people listen to mine. It's Reality Life with Kate Casey. Yes. You can find me on Twitter at Kate Casey. I love to tweet during shows. That's my jam.
And is Love and Knuckles still?
Love and Knuckles is my website. Yeah. I still write recaps through the week. Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives, Bachelor. And then my Instagram's at Kate Casey CA, and I do photo parodies of celebrities. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this one's dedicated to PK.
Find us on Instagram and Twitter at Pump Rules Pod, or go to pumprolespodcast.com for more information. Email pumprolespodcast@gmail.com and follow on Facebook at facebook.com/pumprolespodcast. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.